Hello. With PYRA and MYTHRA having been out for 5 days now, why don't we go through some of the extra stuff like alternate colours, taunts and victory screens and see if they're as good as the characters themselves. Alts. PYRA have some of the best alts in the game, so let's rank them. I will only be talking about the coloration though, as if I were to judge them by their designs and shaping and such, the reskins wouldn't be able to compare to the originals. 8th is the Nia/Cat suit inspired or something. Now this is the blandest of PYRA's alts really. It does help to break up the crowd as it's more mellow and feels comfier, but the colours are uninteresting and muddy and there's not a lot of difference between PYRA and MYTHRA in terms of coloration. The Nia skin is a pretty basic recolor. 7th is the gold/silver alt. In my opinion, these alts don't have that pizzazz or excitement to them that they should. They feel more like limited edition versions of the characters, where they just slap some shiny paint over them. The colours are quite subdued and weak. MYTHRA looks okay, she's pretty sleek, but PYRA isn't powerful enough of a gold shade, and they could have done something more with the secondary colours. In 6th place is the colour inverted alts. The jump between these and the gold/silver skins is quite big. It's sort of the same as the originals since they've just swapped colours, but while they work well, they feel a bit out of place. In a way, these suit their personalities better. I think MYTHRA looks okay with the red colour scheme, and would suit her fiery and headstrong persona, while PYRA has a more regal, mild-mannered white, black and gold. However, they feel like different characters, and of course aren't as unique as others when it comes to alternate colours, which is to be expected. To be honest, I'd rather have a colour swap than a completely different skin though, since a colour swap feels more appropriate and just makes sense, especially if you didn't like the colour matching of the original. In 5th is the aeronaut suit. This would probably rank lower for most people, but I find these alts interesting. They definitely feel like a uniform with popping colours and a really nice use of blue. PYRA is great and really does look like an actual costume rather than a recolor. I like MYTHRA's alt as a standalone colour, but it doesn't carry across that uniform-like appearance like PYRA, so it doesn't feel as prominent. The aeronautical theme isn't incorporated enough of her, so I like the little bits of red with the blue. Also, though it makes sense for them not to change hair colour, something could have been done with there to switch it up. And 4th are the alts inspired by Numa. These are very memorable. They're really flashy and bright. They feel alive, and due to them both using the same colour palette for once, there's a good sense of unity between them. I like the incorporation of the blacks and blues, and of course the Numa skin is also a nice reference to the game. In 3rd place is the quote-unquote dark old. These are very good. They feel really distinct and blend well for a darker feel. The colours are excellent, what with the purple and red. It's a really nice incorporation, and the red isn't overused, which is nice to see. Like Numa, they also share colours, but I like that subtly PYRA's is deeper colour, while MYTHRA is a bit more pale. This alt is probably one of the best dark coloured variants in the game. In 2nd is the original. Now, this kind of isn't fair, but I'm going to include it anyway. This is a very good coloration. PYRA has a more subdued pink and red colour scheme that would normally be bland, especially with her hair, but works really well. It has a nice and subtle use of green and gold. If her colour scheme had more red, it would get boring, but it's just enough of it and just enough gold and black accenting to really make it stand out. MYTHRA is great. White, black, green and gold are a really nice combination in general, and she pulls it off very well. Green makes it pop, while gold adds a certain elegance and wealth to it to complement her powerful stature. It just works well. The blonde colour of her hair is good too. And in number 1 is the 7th alt, also known as the popping. These are definitely my favourite. They're very vibrant without feeling cluttered or in your face. In fact, I think they're actually nicer than the originals. They're shiny and more polished. When it comes to PYRA, I prefer the green accenting, but the blue looks really nice too and stands out well. It's also good at differentiating between her and MYTHRA, since I think green suits MYTHRA better. MYTHRA hasn't changed much, but I'm not so big a fan of her alterations. The white leggings are a bit boring and the red is unneeded and doesn't really mesh well. Nonetheless, this alt is excellent, playing off an original while also feeling fresh and exciting. Taunts. PYRA up taunt. I really like this one. Rex's enthusiastic cheering is nice and the fact that he's just been sidelined is pretty funny. I like PYRA's friendly wave, it suits her character. PYRA's side taunt. This is good. It adds a bit more spice and danger to her character, making you realise she's pretty formidable even if she's mostly mild-mannered. I like the finger gun and the little flame is a cool detail, plus the edge in her voice is good at taunting your opponents, as you might expect. Also, I like how the Aegis is just chilling in the back. Pyra's down torn. While it's not as significant as the others, I think I like it the most. It puts the Aegis right front and centre, making it feel more important and powerful, and then Pyra does a little burst of flames, which makes this taunt a lot more intense as a display of her power. I think visually it's the best, and you can hear the determination in Pyra's voice, which is cool. Her taunts really flesh out her character and show off many aspects of her personality, which is great. MYTHRA's up taunt. Like with Pyra's, I like the goofy appearance by Rex, and I like the differentiation in PYRA and MYTHRA's reactions, with MYTHRA's being a bit more composed. MYTHRA's side taunt. And this is probably the worst one for me. Okay, it's a reference to her foresight, but it's nothing interesting really, just a spark, and the voice line isn't anything special. MYTHRA down taunt. Definitely a step up. It shows off MYTHRA's pride and cockiness, while also being a pretty sick pose, and putting her sword right there to show you it means business. Victory screens. Pyra's first one is a bit iffy to me. I like the sharp but flowing switches between her and MYTHRA. The first is good, with MYTHRA going into her classic back-facing pose, once again relating to her pride, and then the smooth spin and change between them, but I think the ending pose is a bit dumb. The way she holds the Aegis, it does give it a bit more weight, but it makes the sword look a bit clunkier than it is. And also MYTHRA's facial expression is a bit dirty. Pyra's second victory is very cool, starting off with the sick, multicolored flames of the Aegis, then panning out to her and Rex, pushing it out into the air, creates a sense of friendship between them, as well as representing the shared power of the Aegis between them. It just incorporates Rex and this blade itself really well. The third is a bit worse. Pyra's swordplay is a bit meh, and the ending position looks a bit stiff. Rex looks goofy as hell, and he's just sort of there. MYTHRA's first taunt is a counterpart to Pyra's. Once again, I love how they start with Pyra's classic pose. The distinction between their lines is excellent, and it carries across their personalities well too. There's a cool spin, and MYTHRA ends up brandishing her weapon in a very flamboyant way, which also shows off some of the cooler details of the blade. Her second one isn't that cool. Yeah, we get it, MYTHRA's fast. I think they could have done something a bit more interesting with this one, like making Rex stumble a bit before they went into their final pose. Definitely the saltiest victory screen though, reminding the DK mains how they got smashed with MYTHRA's speed for the 50th time. The third is just a bit bad. She waves the sword around a bit, and then Rex is there with his Neopet face again. Not that good. Losing screens. MYTHRA's is alright, more of a gracious clap. I prefer MYTHRA's though, that cold, dead look in her eyes. Definitely salty that she lost. Well, that's all of it really. Hope you enjoyed. Remember to subscribe, and okay, bye.